Hello and welcome aboard, Nigel with the Nigel's Modelling Bench, and today we have another book review for you, and this has come from the company called Bookworld, and there they are there, Bookworld Wholesale, and there's their details down there on the bottom you can see. So we've got bookworld.co.uk, Bookworld, it's Bookworld WS, Bookworld Wholesale, so you can look them up, and you can also give them a ring, or you can write to them should you want to, or pay them a visit, whatever. So yeah, very good company indeed. Fantastic packaging, very fast delivery, and always good. You can see on there's some of the latest books they've got. You can see on there's a nice selection there. You can freeze frame and have a look should you wish, and you can contact them. They do a lot of shows. He'll be at Gloucester, I can assure you, in May, which is next month now, isn't it? So not next month, the month after, isn't it? I keep thinking it's April. So yeah, very interesting. So pop along and say hello to Justin when you're there. So Bookworld are basically the distributor for Wingleader. So as you've known from the title, this is the latest Wingleader book, and this is what I mean about the great packaging. They wrap everything up in a plastic bag. They used to be grey, they're white now. So it's sealed from the elements there, in a cardboard envelope, so it's nice and stiff. It doesn't get bent. You don't get knocked corners and stuff. And then in that box, it comes with a bubble wrap envelope. So that's a very nice touch. And that way it comes to you in perfect condition. So here we have Wingleader Photo Archive number 36. This is the Armstrong Whitworth Whitley by Simon Parry and Ian Hodgkiss. So it's Armstrong Whitworth Whitley in RAF Bomber and Coastal Command Service, and what a lovely little book this one is. So if you want to get yourself one, if you're not in the UK, you want to order it from somewhere else, there's your ISBN number there. You can see recommended retail price is £20, and if you look in the description below this video, you will see a link that takes you to this book over at wingleader.co.uk. So as I say, if you order direct from Wingleader on their website, it will come from Bookworld, so I'll have that fantastic packaging. So what have we got then? Number 36 already, and this is on the very strange looking Armstrong Whitworth Whitley. So got an intro here from Mark Postlethwaite, as usual. He's the series editor. Lovely guy. If you want to go and shake his hand, he'll always be at Telford, or and you can go and say hello to him there. So we've got some lovely pictures there, black and white pictures of a Whitley coming into land, and then we've got another one there. It looks like that's one coming in as well. The Merlin engines on there. So here we've got the origins. So these are the first development aircraft. You can see here we've got the windows, very much like an Anson or whatever, in the side. And here we've got some round windows and stuff on the side. And then here we've got the Mark 1. Notice we've got the radial engines here. It's a lightly supercharged Armstrong Siddeley Tiger 9. It's a very interesting shape, and also notice when you look at these, you can see here the very unusual angle. You can see the engine is almost, it looks like it's tipped up, but basically if you look at the angle of attack on the wings and the tailplane, very strange flying attitude, which we'll see later on in the book as well. So they originally designed it to not have flaps, and had this massive angle of attack to give it low speed stability, or lift, whatever, for landing and takeoff. And then when they added the flaps, they just kept it the same. They didn't change anything. So here we can see a line of them here with all their crews all standing in front of the aircraft. Notice on here we've got the oil cooler sticking out the top of the engine there. There's that small round window, and we've got the larger window there. All points to pick up on as we move forward, looking at various different versions. This is just pointing out here the bonding markings. You can see here that looks very strange, doesn't it? If you build a model of a Mark 1 or indeed a Mark 2, you can see there, people are going to say, oh God, who built that? Look at the engines. But that's how they should be. So yeah, very interesting looking aircraft, very funny looking thing. You can see there's a shadow of the aircraft that's taking the picture there off the tail. You can see here they've moved the air intake from the bottom of the engine up to the top, probably because of debris ingest. And then here's the Mark II, okay, and then we're going straight onto the Mark III. So you see we've still got the radial engines. Notice now we've got this lovely nose turret, we've got the bomb aimer's window. sticking out the front. It's all sort of, you know, Meccano-like add-ons. Very strange. You can see here we've got the rear turret there, and then we've got the side windows there. Note the spacing of those. They're sort of slightly, you know, staggered above each other. You can see here the windows are sort of fairly close, top and bottom. I don't know why they've got them so close together. Why didn't they just have one? Who knows? Probably because the spar is going through, but I can't see why they had two windows. Why didn't they just have one? I don't know. Here we can see the ventral turret had a separately lowered footwell for that little bit of extra drag. Bit of comedy there in the script. So you can see that turret's come down, and you've got the footwell coming out the bottom. Note now the window spacing. So the Mark III has the windows all bunched up together. The Mark V has them further apart. The Mark V seems to be the common kit. You can basically get kits of this from Airfix, Frog, and Fly in 1/72 scale, and then you've got the Sanger kits in 1/48, which will be vac formed. I'm not aware of any others, so I had a quick look on scale mates to see what was about. Here we can see some on the assembly line, all brand new. These are Mark IIIs or Mark IIs. Chance to compare the Mark I and Mark III. The majority on the right are Mark IIIs, identified by the narrow fuselage window layout. Okay. Two Mark Is with squadron markings are visible in the foreground. Okay, so you can see there's the large window there, and then you've got the small windows there, so that's how to tell the difference between the 1 and the 3. That's one of the indications. So you can see here's a 1. Okay, you can see one there that's been catching fire. Pre-war squadron codes. Okay, so this is telling you all the pre-war squadron codes and what numbers were allocated to them, or letters were allocated to them. Two types of camouflage. You've got the A scheme and the B scheme, as usual. Some people believe that aircraft camouflage in World War II was just randomly painted on. It wasn't. It was done to a strict pattern, and most types of aircraft have an A and a B scheme, and generally they are just mirrored. And you can see here what they've done. They've taken this photograph here, mirrored it there, okay, and then you can see how similar that is to that one. If you look at the shape around that roundel there, you look how it goes over that engine there. You can see the shape running alongside that roundel. So basically, the A scheme is basically a mirror of the B scheme, and vice versa. So there we go. This is still early ones. Both aircraft here were Mark Is, but K728 became the prototype Mark IV fitted with Merlin engines. So you can see there's Merlin engines on there. So not sure which is prettier actually. I mean, these engines are, I think the radios look better, but visually, but with them facing up like that, I think if I built a model, I'd be embarrassed to put it in a show, because there's bound to be people that just think I can't build a model because I can't get the engine straight. Here we go, some experimental stuff. Testing dispersal and spraying equipment variations. There's a chemical tank, and then they actually spray chemicals over to disperse nasty things. If you think this Whitley would never get off the ground with that huge metal beam slung between the wheels, you'd be right. You can see there's this huge metal beam. It's got these massive tyres on the outside, and the fear was that larger bombers would sink in the airfield. So this was actually a test rig. So this huge metal beam is adding a load of weight, and then you've got the tyres there that would be, they talked about Stirling or Halifax. Okay, so they're sort of imitating Stirling or Halifax wheels, and they basically used it to test the ground, and it proved to be okay. The ground was okay to handle those bombers. So enter the Merlin. We've got the Mark IV here. You can see it's a very strange looking thing, isn't it? It's a very strange looking aircraft. It almost kind of reminds me of 1930s American cars, how they sort of started to go for looks. I don't know if you understand where I'm coming from there, but very, very interesting. You can see here's the bomb aimer's window at the front. You can see now we've got additional dihedral as well. So here's the Mark IV, and you can see we've got the DF loop there. A and B, you can see the different types of fins here. The attitude of the aircraft is very, very strange, the way it flies. You can see there a wing basically pretty much destroyed from flak or whatever. And then here we've got the undercarriage. You can see these metal rods on the side. They actually, because the the undercarriage doors were spring loaded, so as the undercarriage went up, the doors shut behind them, and these metal bars give the undercarriage doors something to slide on to save them digging into the wheels. So you can see here we've got some other beautiful images of the different aircraft. Here's a Mark V. So you can see here, this is the Mark V. This is the one that the Airfix kit is modelled on. The one that's currently around. It came out reboxed. It was original 2015, and then it was reboxed last year in 24. So there you go. Lovely looking little thing, isn't it? Very strange looking aircraft. This is unbelievable. This one here, DYN, this had an explosion inside. Some flak hit an explosive cartridge or something, and it blew the side of the fuselage out. The aircraft was deemed repairable. It was repaired, and then here it is here again, and it was hit by this aircraft here. Okay, so DYO hit DYN. For some reason DY's been painted out there. Nobody seems to know why. But basically this is that repaired area. Okay, she was hit by that, and believe it or not, this aircraft was repaired. That was deemed repairable. So amazing how they got these things back together. And here you can see this is something they did a lot. They used to go out and just deliver leaflets most of the time, some of the time anyway. And you can see here that they're shoving leaflets down in the chute there, ready to drop them. Propaganda leaflets or whatever, I'm not sure what they were. Here you can see another assembly line. Another picture there of the aircraft with its squadron in front of it, with its crew, should I say, not squadron, in front of it. Here we get a good view of the intakes. You see interesting shaped intakes there with the oil coolers and stuff inside. And there's an entrance hatch there and a ladder. Here we can see some more images. We've got some bombs being loaded here. And note the black line of the camouflage. Look where it is. And then when we turn the page, look how they've moved it up. You can see it's getting higher and higher and higher. You see it started off, it was way down low here. And then it's gone sort of halfway up. And then it's gone almost to the top. And then they painted completely black for night fighters, for night missions. So interesting little picture there with lots going on. Very funny looking thing, isn't it? Very funny looking aircraft. Here you can see, typical of these books, we've got modeller's notes. DF housing offset to starboard, so be careful that don't put it in the middle. Bomb tally on port side of nose. Forward fuselage windows painted over. Square window behind cockpit on port side. Spaced fuselage windows, so that means they're spaced out, but they're painted over in this one, as you can see. There we go. There's a generator there keeping her powered up, ready for flight. She's got one engine fired up, so number 2 engine will it's obviously on the way to getting fired up. Paint it black, so you can see here they got them for night missions, so the whole thing now is black. So very interesting. You can see here we've got the Lorenz beam approach dipole aerial. Was it the tower rail they call it, isn't it? You can see lots of notes to different bits and pieces on the aircraft there. Adding a bomb tally here onto the side of the aircraft. Now we're looking at the cockpit, so you can see here the pilot reaching around with his thumb up. He's got inertia seat belt on, so he can actually move in his seat. Lucky him. And it's showing the various bits and pieces of details. And here we've got another shot, and you can see there looking down into the bomb aimer's area. We've got the compass there. K is the throttle lever, so it's quite a compact little cockpit. And then here you can see right behind the pilot we've got the navigator's table folded down, and the navigator can do his stuff. Rear turrets, so different types of rear turrets, looking at them here, fitting some new guns, interestingly, and then we've got bulbs there for the sight. And then here we've got the escape hatch for the rear gunner. We've got fins, fin flashes on the inside of the fins, that's worth noting. Also, either that aircraft's wet or it's got a glossy finish. I think it's probably wet. And then here we can see the bomb bays. Earlier aircraft also had bomb bays outboard of the engines. These here are the rocket assisted takeoffs, which we use for testing. This is a test aircraft here, testing different bits and pieces. Here we can see an unusual one. You can see here where an Anson has accidentally landed on top of the Whitley in flight. So the Whitley managed to land safely with her on the back. So quite an interesting little diorama for you. You can see here the attitude, the nose down attitude when they're flying. But you can see here if I grab a sanding stick, you can see here if I put the sanding stick along the cord of the wing, you can see there that it's horizontal, and that is the massive nose down attitude of the aircraft. You can see some tests being carried out with the dinghy, some practicing going on. And here's a Coastal Command aircraft which was lost at sea, but luckily it was shallow water, so she was recovered, and she is again. And then you can see a photo set up for the camera. As you can see, there's a load of women there working on an aircraft, giving her a refresh on Coastal Command. Another one here unfortunately crash landed, and here's an aircraft with some new secret some new equipment on it, and you've got a guard there guarding it with his rifle. You can see here more Coastal Command aircraft, very pretty in that Coastal Command scheme with the green and slate and the white sides. Very nice indeed. Very pretty looking thing. You can see another aircraft with all the antenna on there. What was C? C is on the underside, so Yagi aerial. Lots of different bits and pieces on this one as well. And there we go. Very interesting looking thing. And this is what I was saying about the flight attitude. You can see it here. There's the ground there, parallel across the bottom. And you can see the nose down attitude. And as I say again, if I put this straight edge across, if you can see the tailplane, if I put this straight edge along the chord of the tailplane, you can see that it's practically parallel with the ground, so you can see the massive nose down attitude of the aircraft. Great for the pilot's view. And there we go, guys. So there we have it. That is Wingleader Photo Archive number 36 on the Armstrong Whitworth Whitley. So if you're into this aircraft, or you're thinking about getting a kit, then go get yourself one. It would be nice to see an injection moulded one in 48 scale, wouldn't it? That would make an interesting little model. So there we are. Right, I'll see you all soon. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.